Grace Church this morning. It's good to see everybody.
Well, hello, Father.
Young Life is such a great ministry to be a part of. Grace Church, of course, financially supports Young Life, and I served on the board. It was a privilege to serve on that board for 3 years, and they do great work. They're on the front lines in our high schools, and I think most of you here know what's going on and what's being taught in our schools.
Okay, so using the phrase the front lines, that just seems like it's a bad take, right? I mean, given all the tragedies that have happened in schools, and it's a bad take, it's a bad look. I wouldn't use that one personally. I also don't want to overlook the fact that this whole opening that he's given with this organization, it's literally an organization designed with the intent to bring outside children in to teach them their doctrine, to tell them right from wrong, how to behave, what to believe, and to bring their friends. That sounds like something I've heard before. What's that word? Indoctrination, that's it.
And I think most of you here know what's going on and what's being taught in our schools.
What's being taught in our schools? What, like science?
So it is awesome to have a strong Christian presence in that group, particularly with kids who are unchurched.
See, you like to seek out people who are in need of saving. Your ministry and the mission of it is to seek out and save the lost. Therefore, you are literally seeking the vulnerable, so you can bring them into your own little closed-off community. And again, you can teach them your doctrine under the threat of eternal damnation if they don't follow exactly in line with you. But no indoctrination whatsoever, right?
We are also moving into our VBS time. It's only a few weeks away, and so we're running our promos, and here's a promo today. If you have grandkids, kids, anybody you know, get them here to VBS. They're going to have a good time, and it's a great program that we have this year.
I just did a straight segue to yet another youth indoctrination program that he's heading up. The tagline for VBS says, "Standing strong in today's battle for truth." So once again, another indoctrination program where they're utilizing like battle and war, the battle lines, and all that kind of imagery. These are children.
We need to lay a foundation first. We have to make sure that we understand exactly where the church is founded and where it comes from, because there's confusion out there as to the foundation of Grace Church. Who is the rock of Grace Church, or who is the rock of the church? What is that foundational set? Because everyone here knows if you try to build something and the foundation isn't sure, it will collapse. So it's so important to have that foundation in place.
Spoilers. It's Jesus. It's just Jesus. I'm sure you probably could have guessed that. But what if I told you that I just saved you 20 minutes in him reading over 30 different verses? Just to make that point. Not even kidding. This is a common tactic with the fundamental
now I want to talk about the promise. Well, the church at large, Grace Church, is without doubt a group of people called out by God, by God Himself, whose head is Jesus Christ.
So within the 20 minutes or so of rambling that I'd mentioned, there were a few clips that I wanted to pull that I felt were necessary to point out. This one just struck me as like, he genuinely believes it, thus so do all of his acolytes, that they were called by God. Really think about that for a second. Called by God, like literally, not just like an ethereal, like this is what we're supposed to do because a book says a thing. Like, no, they literally think in real time within like our modern technology and our senses and our just within everything, they're able to somehow be called by God directly to do this. Like they have a special task in these end times. Remember, trans people are the ones that are delusional though, or at least that's what they tell me.
As you look around and you hear things and you watch the news and you read things, it sure sounds like the church is losing.
Well, yeah, those are called statistics. I mean, you probably don't like them. I'm sure of that. It doesn't make them any less true, though. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not reality. The problem is that those who are remaining are clinging desperately to the power that they have, and so they become a very vocal. They become violent. They become aggressive. That's the real issue.
But see, we as Christians, sometimes we get short-sighted. We're looking at, well, we need these minor victories. And God's always saying, no, we're going to win the war. So we should start thinking a little more long-term, because the gates of hell, we're promised, will not overtake God. Evil doesn't win. False teaching will never overtake truth. We know there's a lot of false teaching out there right now.
So this is where he thinks he's being subtle and slipping a little no true Scotsman fallacy in there, where he's kind of like letting you know there are false teachers out there. In fact, there are a lot of them, potentially poisoning the well for any other churches or any other teachers or pastors that are not him or are not one of his subordinates. Because remember, they're not real Christians.
At every level, there's false teaching all over the place. Folks, culture will not replace the moral teachings of Scripture. Although that sure looks like it right now, doesn't it? With what we hear that's going on. Folks, globalism will not replace the kingdom.
Okay, so first of all, when you're using the term globalist or globalism like that, that's an anti-Semitic dog whistle, so gross. Let's not do that. What's funny about that is that in the Bible, Jesus gives a sermon that's known as the Great Commission, or in that he gives what's called the Great Commission. And basically what it says is, go ye therefore and make disciples of all the nations. So, by your own source material, aren't Christians the first globalists, and therefore it's kind of weird for you to be using the term in such a derogatory manner, don't you think? Or is it only okay if you do it?
And we get in despair, or we get all anxious, and we start to worry. It's like, wow, I can't believe how bad, our politics have gotten, our division has gotten, and that's worldwide. We just can't believe that. Well, folks, keep in mind, guess what? The gates of hell don't get to prevail against the kingdom. The kingdom will be established. That's a promise. It's going to happen. Just hang tight. And realize you get to win in this thing. You don't lose, you win.
Okay, so first of all, y'all have been saying to just hold tight. The end is coming. Jesus is coming back any moment now for about 2,000 years.
done his very best to try and confound the Word of God, to try to pervert its teachings, and of course Satan is behind all that. And the game plan has never changed. Satan had the same game plan in the garden.
Okay, first of all, in Genesis, it never says that it's Satan in the garden. It only says the serpent. That's something that was added later because apologists realized that, oh yeah, we need it to be Satan, or else this whole story doesn't really make sense. Interestingly enough, also, God is the only one that lied in that story. They say that the serpent or Satan lied. Didn't happen. See, God said that this day you shall pass or you shall die if you eat of the fruit. Didn't happen. The serpent was the one who said that won't happen. Just that you'll have the same knowledge of good and evil, like that of the gods.
He took the Word of God, he twisted it just a little bit, and got Eve to start to question what God really said. Thus did the Lord say. That's what he did. That's what he still does. But now he does it in different ways.
Demonstrate it. Before you go on with your scallop of all this nonsense, you're making a claim. Now demonstrate it. How do you know that? Not just like, I'll even forget the stuff in the past because we can't go back in time. Demonstrate right now for me that Satan is active, is a being that is in any way, like, demonstrate, show me, prove it. Not with a book says a thing, not with I feel a certain way, because again, it's funny how the facts don't care about your feelings crowd. Get them to explain how they know that God is real without using feelings. Their heads explode. It's hilarious. It's super fun. Because they can't. It's not possible.
Now Satan is God, and of course, if you're one of those people, and I hope that you're not, and I pray that you're not, and if you are, please pray that you change. But don't let politicians and biased news reports get involved in your Christianity. Don't let it pervert your Christianity.
He is literally saying not to listen to dissenting ideas. Keep in mind, his whole thing, seek out and save the lost. Make disciples of all nations. So everyone else has to listen to his opinion. So basically, he's a bad faith interlocutor. Because he will not, under any circumstances, actually consider the other's perspective. Which is a really sad way of living your life. And it's also why they don't like science, because they say things like, well, science is always changing, so how can we trust it? And that's a really stupid thing to say. Yes, science is always changing, because we learn more. We learn new cool things. We couldn't see inside the body without cutting ourselves or cutting each other open, basically, for the majority of human history. But guess what? Now we have x-rays and CAT scans and MRIs and all these things where we can look inside the body without having to open it up. That's because science advanced, technology advanced. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
I can assure you, God is not at all confused on what's a boy or a girl. He created male and female.
There's lots to cover here. First of all, those of us who are, actively involved in the conversation, who understand science and LGBTQ plus issues, we know what gender identity means, and we know what we are, and all that stuff. It's a classic technique to say that, well, you don't even know what a boy or a girl is. Okay. So what I'm going to do
Because if you listen to those pundits, they're going to tell you that, well, we really don't know who's a boy or who's a girl. We would like to define love for you because you don't understand what love is.
As for the love thing, love can be a lot of things. There's heteronormative love, there's gay love, bi love, pan love, there's friendly love, love for your neighbor, love for society, humanity, for animals, platonic love, there's romantic love, there's sexual love, there's familial love, there's so many different types of love. But it's funny, the one that you brought up isn't actually real. See, you can't demonstrate that your God even exists. So how can you say that that's a real form of love from a non-existent being, or at least one that you can't demonstrate to us, to people? That's really messed up when you're willing to afford something that is, at this point, no more than an imaginary friend. Love. But you don't think that two men can be in love and that it can be a wonderful, beautiful thing? How dare you? That's so gross. That's such a messed up way of looking at life. You don't think that two trans people can love each other? Or does the math confuse you? But here's the better question. Why are you worried about what's happening in our pants? Or between our thighs? It's a fair question, right? Speaking of deviant behavior, I know that people make all sorts of justifications about like age of consent laws and whatnot, but you were 16 when you got married. Your wife was a grown-ass woman. She was an adult and you were still a child. The only thing that made it possible was that my grandmother signed a piece of paper saying it was okay to happen. So tell me again how you understand better than the rest of us what love is, or how you're somehow a moral authority.
Marriage is not instituted by man, it's instituted by God. Male and female, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. He was very clear on marriage.
Did he just unironically, in the year 2023, the year of our Lord 2023, did he just unironically drop in? It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I am so sorry that I had to subject y'all to that, but just, if I had to hear it, you had to hear it, okay? But also, marriage is literally a construct that was created by humans. Again, you have to demonstrate the God. You can't just say that, oh, this is something that God came up with, so there you go. Like, okay, you have to demonstrate it. If you make a claim, please, I know I'm saying this to my father right now, but when you're listening to this, please, the rest of 2023, in setting out a new goal for 2024, whenever you hear a religious person make a claim like that, marriage is a construct from God, not from people. Challenge them to demonstrate it. When they say that, queer people are demonic, demonstrate it. Not what the book says a thing. Demonstrate it in reality. Say that I'm going to hell because God said so. Demonstrate your God is real. Demonstrate hell is real. Just hold their feet to the fire. Hold them accountable. Make a claim. Then you have to be able to back it up. Because these people are out there voting. They're influencing the politicians and people of power who are making the rules about who gets to have rights and who doesn't.
It's a problem when we as Christians start listening to those voices rather than listening to the voice.
Is the voice in the room with you right now, Dad? Do you hear it?
In his word. It's a problem when we start listening To those who do not have Christ's heart in mind, who do not want us adhering to the scriptures and the absolutes that we have here, we start listening to them rather than God and His Word. That is when we go so far off in the weeds. But that is what man has done. But folks, there's scriptures that deal with it. We're told that man's going to attempt these things, but God tells us this. Proverbs 19:3. The book of wisdom deals with it. A person's own folly leads to their ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord.
First of all, my heart doesn't rage. That's a chemical process that takes place in my brain. But the people who wrote the book didn't know that because they didn't know much about science. But beyond that, I don't rage against a God that I don't believe exists. I rage against a group of people who think it's cool to take this book that you can't even demonstrate is true or real and use it as a weapon to restrict other people's rights. Do you really not understand what we're upset about? I don't care about your God. Think what you want about it. He's not real, so he doesn't bother me in the slightest. I care about the fact that there have been over 500 laws this year alone. We're halfway through the year and there have been over 500 laws in the United States presented trying to restrict LGBTQ plus rights. That's a fact. That's what I'm mad about. That's what I rage against. And the machine, but we know this.
If you don't have a close, intimate relationship with God, how can you possibly know His character? How can you understand His Word if you're not in contact with Him? So we must be keepers of the kingdom. I want to get back to that as I close today.
Okay, I'm just gonna let go of that. I think that's the third or fourth indoctrination call for children that you've made there. How can you have a close personal relationship with a being whom you cannot see, you cannot touch, you cannot hear, you cannot smell, you cannot taste, you cannot, I think it's a touch, okay, you have no way of verifying if it can hear you because you could speak to it, but you can't prove that it's even being received or that it's hearing or is capable of it. You have no way of proving or showing any interaction with this being. You cannot demonstrate it in any single way, not even a little bit. Alright, that's about all I can stomach out of this. This one was, I don't know, his sermons are usually at least a little more coherent than this. I feel like with age he's slowing down a little bit, honestly. Lost a little of that fire. Not as zesty as he once was. Who among us is, though? I can't fault him too much for that. I will say he's more unhinged than he was before, even if he's slowed down a little bit. He's a little more docile, but his ideas are extreme. And it's super insidious because, unlike the Greg Locks of the world, and Robin Bullock, and Hank Gunnaman, and all those guys, who is it? Kat Kerr. Y'all know Kat Kerr. She was gonna hit Hurricane Dorian to the east with a big stick. Love that. Or, who was that? Paula White, was that her name? The one that, was the spiritual advisor to Trump. The strike thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please look that up. Please. It is hilarious. But that's the problem. People like my father are actually super insidious because they don't jump around stage and yell and say a bunch of stupid things that are like, well, he does say a lot of stupid stuff, but you know what I mean. He looks kind of like a kindly older gentleman at this point in his life. So he's able to get away with more. He's viewed as being more reserved, more even-tempered even. And so he's one of the better ones. Yeah, he's a little bit strict, but he's not an extreme